What's up, guys? Max Finn here. Today's video, I want to talk about something that I've been thinking a lot about lately, and is a topic that is relevant to probably most of you watching this video, because if you're a business owner, entrepreneur, a marketer, a creator, whatever that might be, influence, which is the topic of this video, is directly relevant to you. It has a direct impact on your business. Being influential, having authority, having clout, having an audience, having a list. These are all really, really important things when it comes to building a business. However, the point of this video is to make a distinction, because I think most people, I know most people are thinking about influence and wanting influence in the wrong way and for the wrong reasons. Now, what I'm going to talk about today is kind of the two types of influencers that I see out there. So we have our kind of standard influencers where it's all based around large audiences, right? So big influence with big audiences, millions, tens of millions, 100+ million followers. I'm talking about the Kardashians and the Rocks, or in our industry, the Gary V's, the Grant Cardones, those guys who just have massively large audiences. So that's one bucket. Then there's a bucket over here, which I think not enough people talk about because frankly, it is not as sexy at face value. And that is the influencer of influencers, right? So having influence over influencers. So that's this group over here. And this group over here, they're following their numbers on paper don't look as great as these people, right? They're not going to usually have millions of followers. Their videos aren't going to be going viral all the time. But my argument and the point of this video is I believe that this camp over here is where the real money and wealth is made. Now, to be clear, I'm not saying that the people over here are not fabulously rich and successful. They obviously are, right? Cardone, Gary, they make plenty of money. And so I'm not saying that either one of these can't make you a lot of money. But I think there are a lot of inherent risks and downsides when it comes to doing this over here in terms of building a massive audience. And a lot of that has to do with your mindset, your stress levels, your anxiety levels, things that I value, right? Just having peace of mind, not being stressed all the time. Because I've seen a lot of people go on this road over here where they just want to be influencers. They want to have millions of followers. And because of that, everything they post, they are directly critiquing. They're like, oh, how many followers did I get? How many likes did I get? How many views did this post get? And they're living at such a granular level and they're beating themselves up all the time that it's really stressful, right? Because every piece of content they're judging under a microscope and they need it to have tons of views and tons of likes and tons of shares. And if they don't get that thing, they don't get the dopamine hit and they crash and they hate it and it makes them depressed. And that is really unfortunate because they aren't playing a bigger game. They're playing this small individual content game. And then on top of that, because they're so individual post driven, they're so numbers driven in terms of followers and things that I don't think really matter that much, they start creating content based on what's going to get them the most views, the most followers. And so their content path changes. What they actually talk about changes. And what I've seen, frankly, is that it gets less valuable. It gets less informative. It gets more basic. And that makes sense, right? Because if you want to build a large audience, the reality is there are a lot more people out there that are beginners, that are novices, that have no real expertise of success, and they follow the big names. They follow the basic content, right? The content that's very, fun and engaging and viral and right and easy to follow. That's the content that resonates with them. Whereas this camp over here, the kind of influencer of influencers, they're sharing content that's really advanced, that's really cutting edge, that's really high value, that might be super technical at times. And so it doesn't resonate or relate to the masses because it's kind of over their head. And if they have to think, they don't want to do that, right? And you're on social media not to think. Most people are on there just to be entertained and engaged, right? And get kind of face value knowledge. However, the right people, the people that are crushing it, the successful people, the people with money that invest in things, who do they follow? Well, they're certainly not following the beginners. They're certainly not following the influencers who share really basic stuff like how to start your first Shopify store or why you should get into marketing or, how to run your first Facebook ad or all these things, right? They're following or like how to invest your first $5. No, for me, for example, when I follow people online, I'm following people that are sharing cutting edge stuff. When I'm talking about like investing stuff, I want to learn about how people are doing, different life insurance strategies, how people are, hedging against their investments, how people are, are doing foreign exchange and commodities and option trading and selling puts and calls. And there's all kinds of stuff that I want to hear that, the masses aren't going to follow that person because they're not mass market. So what I feel is that more people should be focused on this over here. And that's where I found myself in the last few years. And it's been challenging for me to understand this and to accept this. Because for a long time, I was driven by having the most followers, by having the most views, by having the most likes. And I judged my success based on those metrics. But over the last 2 years specifically, I've realized that the people that follow me, the people that trust me, the people that seek out my content, the ROI on that, on being influential to those people, has been so much greater, right? I've started to realize what the tangible direct ROI is from my content over the years. And it's hard if you measure it based on just your audience size and your follower list and your subscriber list, right? Because it doesn't look that sexy if you're just kind of the influencers. But when I look at who's following me, when I look at on my Instagram stories, when I see there's blue check mark, blue check mark, blue check mark, right? It's a lot of influential people, right? The list of people when I go to my stories to views it, it's a who's who of top people in the industry that are all the best of the best, right? And so when it comes down to like which camp you'd rather be in, would you rather have the best, most successful people with the most money that spend the most money following you and looking to you for expertise in your market? Or would you rather have 100 times more people, 1,000 times more people, but it's all beginners, people that don't spend a lot of money, right? People that aren't great long-term customers. And again, there's no wrong answer here. I think both have merits. What I'm saying though is that more people should be focused and interested in this. And not enough people talk about this because it's not sexy, it's not as fun, it's not as directly rewarding as going viral and having these big views. But I can tell you firsthand, it is amazing what I've seen happen. I don't have the biggest following. I don't have the most influential, social media. I don't have the biggest views, right? I'm kind of middle of the pack when it comes to how many followers I have. But what I can tell you is that the people who DM me, the people who reach out to me on a regular basis are people that I looked up to for years, people that are the top of the top of the top. And they reach out to me for expertise. They reach out to me to hop on calls about TikTok or Facebook or restaurants marketing because they've been following me for a long time on social media. And that is way more valuable, right? That has allowed me to catapult my career because I've built now direct trust and relationships with heavy hitters in our industry just by not getting hooked into like, I need to create content for the masses. And I've thought about it many times. I thought, hey, listen, I know my content is a little heavy. I know my content can be very technical. And I know if I simply just started sharing content that was very clickbaity, that was very, high level, that was more kind of fun and light, I could get a lot more views. I could get a lot more followers. But frankly, I'm looking to make money. I'm looking to build a business. I'm looking to build long-term financial freedom for myself, my kid, and my kids' kids, right? And that's not going to happen with 1 million followers. But that will happen is with the people that follow me because I influence them and they're influencers, right? It's kind of like the model of the way the analogy I give is like venture capitalist, right? Look at A16, Sequoia, Bessemer, Greylock, any of these VC firms, right? They're not creating startups, right? The general partners of these firms, they're not inventing things. But what they are doing is they're investing in the people that are inventing things and changing the world. So they're able to basically be the fuel for the people that change the world. And I kind of look at it the same way. It's like, hey, I'm not going to be the biggest internet celebrity. I'm not going to have tens of millions of followers. And I'm okay with that because my content influences the people who do have million, 10 million, 50 million followers. And that is much more rewarding to me. And I think it's much more impactful actually, is being able to help those people then go to their tribe and share it with the masses and then mention me. And that allows me to get, speaking gigs and clients and all that stuff. So that's the point of today's video. And I'm curious what you guys think, right? Am I off here? Do you agree that, being an influencer, influencers is the better path with the higher ROI and less risk and less stress? Or do you think, hey, you should really, you make more money, you should just go build a big audience and you should create content that's going to get you the big audience and not worry about the quality of the audience? I'm really curious what you guys think. So let me know in the comments. And as always, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell for the notifications so you don't miss any of my videos. And I'll see you guys in the next one.